My name's Bailey, and I'm the CTO at Slicebase. Slicebase is a marketplace for commercial real estate where we are trying to allow people to buy little tiny slices of very big spaces that they normally wouldn't really have access to with just a couple dollars. And we were having a lot of just interesting conversations about the technology and how it can be implemented kind of in a more practical sense, because as we know, there's a lot of nonsense out there in the crypto world, and a lot of that comes from the lack of clarity from regulators and the lack of, the fact that it's new, unseen territory. But yeah, we were chatting a lot about the technology, and Maury had a background in real estate, and he was the one that kind of originally connected the dots of, hey, why don't we figure out a way, it's got to be possible to slice up real estate. Extremely, very similar to what Robinhood did with stocks, where you can now buy $5 of Apple stock, where 30 years ago you could theoretically buy the $5 of Apple stock, but the transaction fees would cost more than you would actually be making in gains on the stock. So it was kind of a combination of a lot of things and our different backgrounds, I think, but yeah, that was kind of where it originally came from. We were very sure on where we kind of wanted to go, but we knew that there were a lot of regulatory and legal hurdles that we needed to figure out and just find clarity on, because there's a lot of gray area out there, and there are honestly a lot of companies in this space that are not necessarily doing it the way that we are doing it. And so in our case, traditionally, the transaction of real estate is where a lot of the costs come from. The movement of the asset back and forth is where the fees are generated and where the penalties are justified. If you wanted to exit a property early, it's justified because of the transaction fees. If you were to just if everybody were to keep moving around their property, it would just be so much work for all these people doing the paperwork. So the paperwork itself and the tracking of who owns what in a ledger-based system was historically a very expensive process and time-consuming. And actually, just as an interesting fact, in the European Union, 1% of their GDP goes towards payments and payment services and settlements. So there's a common quote about how money cannot be transferred between two parties without a leaky bucket. We knew that we had reporting requirements, and we knew that we had redundancy requirements in the way that the data was kept and protected and stored. And we also knew that as a startup and a new company in the space, there's generally going to be the issue of trust, right? We have to build something brand new out of nowhere, and we're going out and asking people to put their life savings in this. We use blockchain because it saves our customers money, and it also keeps us honest. It facilitates a fair market where everybody can see how the prices are set, what we're doing, and the inner workings under the hood. It would have been impossible to deliver, if you buy $1 of a property and it's $1 million slice that we're tokenizing on the platform, your rental income on a daily basis is going to be less than 1 penny. So if we're transacting on the traditional fiat rails, the banking system doesn't even support decimal places that go that low. The bank has one copy of everybody's information, and it's up to you whether or not you want to believe the bank doesn't fudge those numbers ever. That's your choice. With the blockchain, it's the same exact thing, except thousands of us all have a copy, and if we want to start committing fraud, or if we want to start scamming our users, or if something isn't going well, everybody can see it, and it's not something that we can hide at all. Yeah, I would say the next time that you go and have a coffee, ask yourself, would I take a couple dollars off this and invest it into some real estate, a slice of some property, something that is real that I would make money off of consistently? It's a good question.